All right, so last time we talked, it was last Monday. Happy New Year to everybody. So gosh, I'm going back now. So we played Riverside after that. That was a game that we just made every shot here imaginable and played well. And then we traveled to UNLV Saturday. So good game against Riverside, played well, played a lot of guys, scored the ball, made shots. Defensively, we're better than we were prior to that. And then UNLV game, a team that just came off a big win against Utah State last Wednesday, beat Utah State, upset them, and had them down 23, 25 points and just kind of cruised to a victory. Caught them at a good time. I mean, defensively, they're playing as well as anybody in the conference. We started out 19-8, got shots early and made them. Got some transition threes, got some threes from Ryan Swan, and A.J. Walker made the first of the game. They called timeout and adjusted a few things, and then they tightened their defense up a little bit more and were a little bit closer to us as opposed to letting us beat them off the bounce. And some of the shots that fell early in the first 7, 8 minutes, 9 minutes weren't falling there, and they went on a run. They went on a heck of a run, took the lead. I think we closed it to 7.5. Were you there, Nick? Okay, Nick was there, 7.5. You were watching the game, right? Okay, all right, just wanted to make sure. Yeah. But anyway, made a stretch here or there in the second half, but couldn't get it over 10. Couldn't get under 10. They got it to 15, we got it to 10, we got it to 15, then they expanded to 20, then we got it back to 10. The big difference in the game was their press. First team that pressed us entirely the game and took us out of rhythm offensively. Early, how we were able to get that lead, they didn't score. So they were only pressing on made field goals. So they didn't score. So we were able to flow into offense and get shots we wanted and made those shots. Once they were able to score the ball, slowed the game down for us and pressed us and got us into more of a attack press mode and then try to scramble into offense. And it took us out of rhythm. And we adjusted a few things but never got over the hump. And I thought a big key in their game, too, was Chong, I believe you pronounce your game, the center they have in there. He was really effective. He only blocked 2 shots, but after watching film, he probably altered 6 to 8. As a matter of fact, when we went on the 19-8 run, we had a missed dunk. We had a layup at the rim, 2 other layups. So we had 3 rim runners, right, to score. If you make those, maybe your lead's now 14-16 as opposed to 11. And then the game changes a little bit, and we didn't. And then they were able to capitalize. But Good game on the road there. I think UNLV is going to be a team this year in the league that's going to surprise because their length and their athleticism defensively, they're really good. They really bothered Utah State and then bothered us. So they're 3-0 now and moving on. Now we got Utah State with a quick turnaround. So we have them tomorrow night. So really just one day of prep. They've lost 2 straight. They lost, as I said, to UNLV, and they got beat by San Diego State, who I just saw is ranked 7th now this week in our league, playing really well. So we got them at home tomorrow, a team that was a unanimous pick to win the Mount West regular season, and a little questionable with their players because of Cada. Cada has only played, I think, 5 games. He was hurt in the summer representing his country. He tweaked it in the Florida game, his knee. So he's been in and out, but obviously Rookie of the Year, Freshman of the Year last year in the league, and Defensive Player of the Year. We have him. He started against San Diego State at 15-14. He's a really good player. Obviously, Sam Merrill, who was the reigning conference player of the year in the Mount West. So good team. Shoot the ball extremely well, although the last couple games they have not shot it well. So our key is to get to their shooters and hopefully contest them where they're not getting off to a great start. And then with Cada in there, he shot blocks, he changes the game inside. And then maybe the best player in the conference right now is Justin Bean, who's I think 2nd in the country in rebounding and 4th in double-doubles. And just he's the Energizer Bunny. His motor just doesn't stop. So great game for us at home this week, and then we'll head to New Mexico on Saturday.
Coach, going back to that Riverside game,
Yeah.
I know you guys were hitting every shot, but was that one of the most, where does that rank as far as dominant wins for you here?
It was, because going into the game, a lot of question marks because the games they won prior to that, didn't know how we would respond to some of their size. I thought we responded really well. And then, as we all know, when you start making shots early, your confidence goes to a new level. And that carried over to our defensive end as well. So it was a pretty dominant game for us from the half to the finish. We had a little fire going on in the building. We put that out. Plus, we made some shots and did some things. So it was a really good game for us.
And that being your last home game, how do you guys tap into that and kind of get those shots going again tomorrow?
hopefully we start that fire again and we start making those shots. But we're better, I think, at home. I do. I think because of the comfort of our own building, but a quality opponent coming in. But hopefully we can settle in early and get off to a great start tomorrow.
And the 9 o'clock start, obviously
Late.
late for you.
Yeah. We'll have our guys come down after class and take a nap, to be honest with you, because that's a late start. And we're always better early because that's kind of what we're programmed. And tomorrow is the first day of classes, so they'll be up early, breakfast and then classes in the morning. We're usually up, at 6-ish and then practice in the afternoon. Once we get to that 6 o'clock at night, we're starting to wind down. So we'll try to recharge them by letting them take naps in the afternoon. Then we won't have our shoot around till 4 and pregame meal at 5.
What's your nap situation then?
Wow. Yeah, I nap a lot. No. I'll probably sleep in an extra longer hour in the morning and work out a little bit later and then try to program that day because it does. 9 o'clock, think about that. That's a later start for us. Last year we had against UNLV and played really well here, but it does change your dynamics during the day.
Yeah, and it's not easy from a body clock.
Yeah.
Guys are used to getting up at 6 a.m.
They are. And even when we're on break, our guys are up earlier. It's just because that's what they're kind of trained to do because pretty much most of the year that's their schedule. So we'll adjust to it.
Any concern with, obviously you talked about Utah State being, consensus preseason pick. They're coming off of 2 losses.
Yes.
They're probably
Fired
not the
up.
time you want to face them, I guess.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to get their A game because, as you said, they have Nevada coming. Because you always look, they have Nevada on Saturday. We've played Nevada and UNLV, and they're both 3-0 in the league. Kind of a little bit of a surprise. So they've got Nevada, and so they've lost 2. They're going to come in, and I'm sure they're going to be on top of everything. Trying to take away some of our early threes and what our strengths are and maybe try to slow the game and even press a little bit as we will try to do some of the things. It's just going to be both teams giving their best effort because you don't want to drop that next one. You want to pick one back up again.
Do you think your team is kind of a live and die by the 3, especially at home?
And you hope not. But we're better when we've made shots, and we've made shots at a record pace some of the times this year, and we do have guys that can shoot the ball, but you don't want to live and die on that because those early ones we made to get up 19-8 against UNLV kind of had the same looks, and if they just don't drop, then now they're on a run at you. So we talk about inside out, and we got to emphasize that, and we've got to maybe at times when those things aren't falling, we've got to go to the second or third option. Yeah. So
when your coach and your team is feeling it, do you remind them, hey, let's?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, you have to, because as much as they can drop, they can stop dropping too. So let's don't look at the first and second option of maybe getting the ball inside and scoring 2.
Coach, when you look back at that UNLV game, obviously a tremendous start for your team, and then they came on hot and, kind of carried that through. So is the message post-game about consistency, is about being as good in the second half as you were to open a game like that? Because you were with them. It just kind of was those streaks, hot and cold a little bit.
It was. And, going back through the film, we showed them a little bit of film right after that to talk to them about it. What was good for us and then what wasn't good for us. And there was just a small margin, very small margin. And, again, it could have been just shots dropping and not dropping. But we can't, we've got to alter some things when you go through a little bit of a drought when you're not scoring and try to get to the free throw line a little bit more, slow them down a little bit more, and maybe get into some attack off the bounce and in the mid-range.
Were you surprised or disappointed in how that press affected, a veteran team?
No, it didn't affect us as far as a turnover or whatever. It just slowed the game down. So every time we got the ball into the half court to start our offense, it was like 18, 16 seconds as opposed to 26 to 24. And that's a difference for us because we're kind of a timing pattern. They were taking at least 9 seconds, and some pushed it right to 20 to get over half court. So they just made us reverse the ball 2 or 3 times. Didn't really turn it over, but I think once. But then once we got the ball into the half court to start our offense, we were at 16 seconds. So then now 2 passes, 2 bounces, and you're at 10 or under, and then you're starting to go a little bit more of attack mode and sometimes a little bit rush mode, I should say, as opposed to earlier when we got to reverse it. We're getting the ball past half court at 26 seconds, and now those 6 to 8 seconds are big for us. And teams have done that, and we know that. And we try to do it to opponents as well because it's a big difference.
And what are you expecting from Keita? Because he didn't play 2 games ago. Played like 30 minutes in the last game.
Right.
It's kind of been.
It's been odd. You don't know. Are they load management with him and saving him? You don't know the extent of his injury, but when he's been in there, he's been really good. Like 15 of 14 against San Diego State was really good. Now, they did beat Florida and LSU basically without him, okay? And then he didn't play in the Division II games. They played 2 Division IIs. He didn't play in that. And then he didn't play in the game earlier in the conference game. So, they're hard to figure out. And maybe it's how he wakes up in the morning or practice the day before. So if there's a little bit of pain in the knee, maybe they shut him down. Or are they picking certain games, maybe maybe he's only playing 1 game a week as opposed to 2. I don't know. But we're preparing for him. But I'll tell you this, when he's in there, they're a lot different team.
Well, and how difficult is Merrill when you've got Kada to contend with as well?
Because you pick your poison. Do you send somebody down on him and try to help, but then they kick it out, and Merrill's really good. And 22. Brock Miller, who can shoot the ball really well as well. UNLV did a really good job, but there's a little bit longer. They really shut down. Merrill made the first 3, I think, of the game, and then they went 17 misses. For Utah State to miss 17 threes, because they're traditionally one of the better three-point teams in the country, not even the conference. But I think they finished that game 2 of 21 from 3. I'd like to see that again.
And then you mentioned Utah State potentially, looking ahead to Nevada and not wanting. How about with you guys? You go to New Mexico, right? Then so that's you don't want to go 1-3 in this stretch.
I know you don't. So all the focus got to be on Utah State tomorrow. That's what it's been, prepping for them. We'll get the first time on the floor because we weren't on the floor yesterday. We talked about it, film, prep, mental, and because it was a late game and a physical game on Saturday and didn't want to wear them out yesterday. So it was that, and then we traveled back. We got back here about 4 o'clock, I think it was, right? And then give them the rest of the day to get off their feet. So today will be our prep day, and then tomorrow we'll walk through at 4, but that's it.
And then I'm waiting to hear specifics on what the academy's going to do to help cadets get there and incentivize that.
Yeah.
Last year, that UNLV game obviously was a
helped
huge
us tremendously.
crowd.
Yeah, the cadets were awesome. The band, the cheerleaders, the dance team, the cadets, and it was walked out and it was all white with the cadets down there, and I think it threw UNLV off. I mean, we scored 104 points, I think, in that game. And they surely helped us. So hopefully we'll get our cadets down tomorrow as well.